Hello, and welcome to Starting Points. In this Starting Points, I want to start looking at various themes that I developed with students over the years. I have 75 themes, and this one's going to be on trees. I've uploaded some videos, one on geometric designs, how to create them, 45 different videos, and another 20 or so on math puzzles. But this is going to be dealing with, not with math, but with books. And I first thought I might publish a book, and I would, all the different themes and the books and the ideas that we used in class, but it seemed so dry. And so I decided I'd like to show the books and maybe say something about them, and that would be starting points for people. They'd say, hey, that book I think I'd like to check out, or this book I'd like to find and read. And from that, which is what Starting Points is about, you might go to something else, and that might lead you to something else, and that over. And that's Starting Point. So I thought trees made a perfect starting point, because that's what happens with a tree. It grows, shoots, this becomes a branch, this becomes a branch, and follow off, not knowing where you might end up with. So I'd like to show you 3 books of the more than 100 books that I have that I want to show you on this topic. This is a book by Barbara Reed, this first one. It's called Picture a Tree. I love this cover. It almost looks like this person's doing a backward embrace of the tree. And you get the organic sense of the branches as they grow, and which is just the same thing that I have when I think of starting points. I mean, you have your whole life. I'm over 75. So you have your whole life to explore something that you're interested in. Well, Barbara Reed graduated from an art college, and she had developed an idea of illustrating using plasticine. And that led to her illustrating a couple of books by Joanne Oppenheim. Have You Seen Birds? And New Baby Calf. And all of a sudden she had a lot of recognition. Now she's probably done a dozen books on her own. So this is hers. And one of the things that I like about picture books is that as a teacher, they sometimes would give me ideas of art things I could do with students. For instance, I would get good quality plasticine and have it all at a back table, and students would come back and get what they needed and the colors they needed. But I'd give them a little hard piece of construction paper, and maybe we've just finished reading the K, Theodore Taylor's book, and the students then would do a scene from being on that K using plasticine. Or Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, and they would do a scene from that book. It becomes 3D scene. Looking at Allens, the theme Allens, they might do a coastal archipelago, which is 3-dimensional. Or lighthouses, there's another theme. They do that for a lighthouse scene, flat scene. in the winter. I remember they did snow globes. That was just a great, great three-dimensional Christmas trees or things like that, and presents. And so, this book, good for ideas. Here's a book by Joanne Oppenheim, not illustrated by Barbara Reed, but you can see the whole book if you go to YouTube and take their search bar and you type in there, "Have you seen trees, not birds?" Question mark. Though that book might actually be in there too. Somebody reads this book, shows you all the pages, opens, you get to see all the pages and hear the story at the same time. I knew those other books, and when I saw this at a library book sale, I bought it. It was only $1. So, the third book I wanted to share with you is by Lois. Now, I'd have trouble pronouncing most people's writers' names or artists' names, but I do have some trouble with her last name. You see, in Canada, EH is said A, like, you agree with me? A? Or it could be A, like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. So I would pronounce the name alert. I'm drawn to doing that because Lois is a very alert person. I had a number of her books in the classroom. She used brilliant colors and cut out things with paper and used that to depict her pictures. And that gave me the idea, like for Halloween picture, we would cut out fence posts and houses and trees and a haunted house, say, or whatever. Or it might be lighthouses. It might be cutting out seagulls and rocks and things like that. So this was a helpful book. Trees. Next time I'm going to show you lots of books. As I say, I've got more than 100 of them here, and we'll look at a different branch of the topic of trees. Until then, bye for now.